What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 9 of Your Icing Wrong, the search for the best sole sauce. In today's video, we'll be comparing Salon Care 40 Volume Creme against 15-7 Restoration's Ice. I gotta be honest, I am insanely excited about today's episode because we are utilizing a product that I have never used before, so I have no idea how it works, and I'm going to be testing it on one of the most yellowed shoes that we have seen to date on this series. The pair of kicks in question are these black metallic Jordan 5. Now these kicks are only from 2016, but they are crazy worn down and insanely yellow. Taking a look at them, you can see some damage to the nubuck uppers. The soles and the cages are insanely yellowed, and the heels have a bunch of drag to them to the point where we've actually broken through the outsoles to the midsoles of the kicks. These shoes are super grimy, definitely need a very deep clean, but more importantly, they need to be iced. It has been a really long time since I have worked with a pair of kicks that were this yellow, so I'm not sure about the results that we're going to achieve with them, but we're gonna do our damnedest to try and get the best results possible and find out which of these products is superior. But first things first, before we get to the icing process, I gotta get these shoes nice and clean and get off the top layers of dirt and grime. Let's get into the cleaning process first.
The cleaning process was a little bit more challenging with this specific pair because somebody had actually stepped in gum while wearing these kicks, so there was a whole bunch of junk between all of the different cracks and crevices of the shoe. It took an extra minute, but I got it done.
With a little bit of elbow grease and the help from my Dremel Versa, I was able to get the bottoms of these Air Jordan 5 black metallics to look a bit better. Taking a closer look, you can see that there is still a little bit of dirt and grime within some of the nooks and crannies, but I think that we're still at a point that these things can definitely be iced, and after the first session of icing, the sauce might actually help to remove and lift some of that dirt and grime. The soles look a little bit clearer and more translucent than they did before, but obviously they're still insanely yellowed and can definitely go for a nice deoxidation session. But we're gonna get into that icing process right now.
As per usual, Salon Care 40 can be purchased on Amazon.com. 4-ounce container for $13.83, 16-ounce container for $14.99, or 32-ounce container for $26.30. The only information I can find on price for 15-7 Restoration was on a post from Instagram from 2020. An 8-ounce bottle was $10 and 32 ounces was only $20. The 15-7 Restoration website seems to be down since the point in time where I ordered this bottle about a year ago. After getting my ice applied, I put the sneakers in the ice box, and then after 48 hours, I take them out and clean up the excess soft off the soles of both of the kicks.
I just finished cleaning these and they're still super bleached out, so I gotta give them a little bit of time for all of that kind of whitening and cloudiness to dissipate before we can actually see what these things look like side by side. These black metallic Jordan 5s have officially been in the ice box for 48 hours at this point in time. Let's take a closer look and compare to before we iced them. As you guys saw, after the treatment, these things remained cloudy for some time. Originally, upon looking at them, I didn't think that they had de-yellowed at all, but after that haziness and cloudiness kind of dissipated, they're starting to look a hair better. These outsoles are still piss yellow and they're gross looking, but they have lightened up a little bit. I really can't spot too much of a difference. Overall, around the toe area, it would appear as though some of the yellow hues are deeper on the left shoe that was treated with the Salon Care 40. both of the heels are looking pretty much the same. So I guess I would give a slight edge to 15.7 restorations in this situation. These things are still piss yellow and they definitely need at least one more 48-hour session in the icebox. This episode might actually go into like 3 or 4 sessions, but I don't think that 2 sessions is going to be enough to do these any sort of justice if we're able to get them to any sort of reasonable iciness. Let's get that second coat on and get them back in the icebox.
Salon Care 40 and 15.7 ice have pretty much the same viscosity, which makes them very similar as far as application is concerned. After getting the sauces on for the second time, I place the kicks in the icebox again, wait for 48 hours, and then remove the kicks so I can then clean off all of the sauce and get them ready for another application if necessary.
These Jordan 5s have officially been in the icebox for 2 full 48-hour sessions. Let's take a closer look and see what they look like side by side now. So I would say that we're making a little bit of progress at this point in time. Again, it's very, very slow. I don't know that there's really a substantial difference between either side, but again, if I had to give an ever so slight edge, it would be to the 15.7 Restorations ice used on the right shoe. It just appears that around the forefoot, things have cleared up a little bit, which is the same as what we saw after one 48-hour session. The heels are relatively unchanged for the most part. I'm hoping that maybe we can get some more substantial results by throwing these things in the icebox for another 48-hour session, but they are just so yellowed and so beat that I really don't know what's going to come of them. Let's get down to icing these things again.
At this point in time, you guys are already familiar with this process. I reapply my sauce, place the kicks in the ice box, wait for 48 hours, and then I remove the kicks. After removing the kicks from the ice box, I then clean off any excess sauce.
These Air Jordan 5 Black Metallics have officially been in the icebox for 3 48-hour sessions. Let's dive into it and see what they look like now. After this round of icing, I think that we can actually see a bit more of a significant difference between the 15.7 Restorations Ice and the Salon Care 40 Volume Creme. It appears to me as though the forefoot on that right shoe is actually a little bit more lightened up than the left shoe is, and this is the first time during this icing process that I think that change has been significantly noticeable. I think that the results would probably be more noticeable on pairs that iced up more quickly and more efficiently. Since we are seeing some continued results as far as the de-yellowing is concerned, I think that these things deserve at least one more round in the icebox just to see what we can do with them. I'm going to go ahead and apply another layer of sauce and get these back into the icebox for another 48-hour session.
At this point in time, you guys already know this process quite well. I'm just going to apply another layer of sauce to both of my kicks. I'm going to place them inside my icebox, let them ice for 48 hours, and then I'm going to remove them and wipe down and clean off all of the excess sauce.
So at this point in time, these black metallic Air Jordan 5s have seen another 48-hour session in the icebox, and it's time to take a closer look to see if there's any differences after this. At this point in time, the results are just more of the same, quite honestly. The right shoe seems to be de-yellowed ever so slightly more in comparison to the left shoe, so I would say that the 15.7 Restoration Ice has a little bit of an advantage. However, both of these shoes still remain severely yellowed, and that's just due to the overall wear and tear that this pair of kicks has seen. Again, the forefoot is the most obvious section where you can see the differences between the right shoe and the left shoe. I don't necessarily know that we're going to get any more de-yellowing on this pair just due to the overall wear of these kicks. Again, it seems like we've kind of achieved the maximal amount of de-yellowing that we can reach on this specific pair. However, because we have the time and the opportunity, I'm going to put them in the icebox for one more 48-hour session, and we'll take a comparison look at the end to see if there really is any sort of significant.
You guys have already seen this process done plenty of times, so I'm not going to harp on it anymore. Just remember that you're going to apply a fresh layer of sauce, place your sneakers in the icebox for 48 hours, remove your sneakers, clean off the excess sauce, and bam, good to go.
These Jordan 5s have officially been in the ice box for one final icing session, and it's time to take a look at our final results. Looking at the soles of these shoes, I can just say that we're seeing more of the same after our 5th icing session. There really hasn't been a remarkable change in the overall amount of de-yellowing from session 4 to session 5. And on the right shoe, it's looking like the 15-7 Restoration Ice did a slightly better job, especially around the forefoot, than the Salon Care 40. Honestly, I feel like I'm just repeating the same information at this point in time, but that's the truth of this project. Obviously, this pair was probably not the optimal pair to utilize for a project like this. Because of the overall wear and tear and usage on this pair, this yellowing is definitely not going to get any better than where I was able to get it to. And because of that, I think that 15-7 Restorations Ice deserves another shot in a future project on a pair that has better potential to achieve better results. If you guys found today's video helpful or you learned anything, let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested in hearing what you guys think about this series so I can find ways to improve in the future. If you did enjoy what you watched, make sure that you drop a like and hit that subscribe button. It only takes about 10 extra seconds to do that, and it really goes a long way in helping to support this channel. If you guys are interested in keeping up with all my projects or inventory that I have for sale, make sure that you check out the website at www.sailboatsupplies.xyz, and you can always stay up to date by following my social media at Sailboat Supplies. At any rate, thank you guys so much for coming through and watching this video today, and I really appreciate all of you that stuck around until the cold, bitter end. You guys already know, I'm Sailboat, and I'm out of here.